Hi all, I'm Ollie, this is Simply Stitchy. And in today's video we're going to be looking at Roger Wilco. He's my Singer 15K80. In a recent video I had a look to see if I could get a walking foot to fit on Grandma, who is a Singer 27 from 1912. And what I was trying to do was I was trying to sew quilt sandwiches using different types of batting or wadding to see if she could actually cope with it. I tried her first with polyester, but didn't go so well. But if you want to find out how I did actually get on, I'll put a link to that video in the description box for you so you can go and check that out. And I also tried her with some cotton batting. I had a comment from Ginger Catney, hey, to say, what about the Singer 15? How will the Singer 15 cope with the different types of wadding? And I actually don't know. Although I've had Roger Wilco here for quite some time now, I've never actually sewn with him. Any kind of project, never mind a quilt sandwich. I've turned his hand wheel and I've threaded him, and I've inserted the bobbin in one of the other videos on the channel, the one where I compare a UK Singer 15 to a US Singer 15. Again, I'll put a link in the description box for you. But up until this point I've never actually sewn with him. So how is he going to get on with sewing a quilt sandwich? What I'm going to do, I'm going to do exactly the same test with Roger Wilco here as I did with Grandma, and I'm going to see how he gets on. Come on. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out the sewing foot. With the Grandma test I was using a walking foot, so it's only fair that I do the same with Roger Wilco. So I'm going to take the standard foot off and swap it out for this one. To change the feet, the first thing to do is undo the side thumb screw. And then that should just come off. Oops, put that there for a second. Now to fit, nearly lost the screw. To fit the walking foot, what you need to do is this little arm needs to go either side of the screw that holds your needle into the needle bar. So you kind of wiggle it until you can get that little hook around that little bar. And then hopefully the bottom of the foot should be able to line up with the screw hole in the side of the presser foot bar. And then you just put the thumb screw back in, and then tighten it up. And you'll see as you turn the hand wheel, this little lever on the foot goes up and down with the needle bar. The next thing to do is to thread the machine. Now before I start, this is the 15K80. It's not the 1591. It's slightly different. I'm going to put the thread on the thread spool. There's a little guide here which the thread needs to come through. It's going to come down to the tension discs. It's going to go round the back of the tension discs, up over this little metal hook thing. It's got a wiggly whatsit, so it's going to go through the wiggly whatsit up to the take-up bar, take-up lever, which is here. There you go. And then down to this little thread guide that's on the front of the faceplate. And it's just a case of bring it to the front and click it in like that. And then we come down to the needle. If you have a look just above the needle, there's a little thread guide, which is actually to the left of the needle, which means this machine, it's the 15K80, remember, threads from left to right. And if we put the thread behind that little thread guide, it's going to hold the thread to this side of the needle, which tells you that it goes from this side to the right side. For those of you out there who own 1591s, yes, I know they go the other way. That's one of the great quirks with Singer sewing machines. They're not all the same, even when they're similar models. The next thing to do is to get the thread through the needle. And for that, I'm going to get the presser foot out of the way for a moment. I'm going to use one of these. I'm going to put it through the needle from right to left. And you'll see why in a minute. The threader is through the needle, so now all we need to do is put the thread through the threader. There you go. Once it's through the threader, you pull the threader to the right, and then your needle is threaded left to right. The next thing to do is the bobbin. Now, with the bobbin, what you need to make sure on the 15K80 is that the thread comes off on the left. And then you pop it in the case so it's still coming off on the left. In it goes, and then you pull it through the channel to come out in that little hole right at the top of the bobbin, like so. And then you'll notice that as you pull it, your bobbin goes clockwise. Because this is the 15K80. The next thing to do is to just pop it into the bobbin area. I am going to just chop a bit of this thread off though first because it's a bit long. There. There. Okay. Now we just drop that down there for a minute. Not the bit we cut off. What we're going to start with is we're going to start with the polyester wadding. Now what I've got here is I've got 2 pieces of quilting cotton. It's 100% cotton, and just a little slither of polyester batting or wadding in the middle, and that's your quilt sandwich. I'm just going to line it up a little bit, and I'm going to put it under your foot. Now for the eagle-eyed amongst you, you will have noticed that I have not yet brought the bobbin up, and there's a reason for that, because I'm going to do it through the quilt sandwich. Okay, I'm going to put the foot down. Whoops. I'm going to grab the top thread, and now I'm going to pull the bobbin up like so. What I'm sewing with here is I've got green thread on the top of the machine, and I've got black thread on the bottom of the machine, and that's so that I can tell which way up the quilt sandwich is going. It just makes troubleshooting just that little bit easier. And now I'm going to just move those 2 threads to the back. I'm going to hold on to them. Oh, it hasn't gone under the foot. Hang on a minute. There, that's better. Right, I'm going to hold on to them just lightly, straighten out your quilt sandwich a little bit, and then start to sew. Next, the quilt sandwich, only this time with cotton wadding in the middle. Before we take a look at how we got on, the one thing I did forget to mention was that I'm using one of these needles. This is a Microtex needle, and it just tends to be just a little bit sharper than universal ones, and they're incredibly popular for quilters because they just go through the sandwich just that little bit easier. And the size I'm using is a 90/14. If you want to get your hands on some Microtex needles, I'll put a link to an Amazon link in the description box. I'm an Amazon affiliate. You don't have to spend any extra to use the links. It's totally free, but I do get a little bit of a referral fee and it helps support this channel if you do use the links, and I totally appreciate it. The first one we're going to have a look at is the polyester. There you go, polyester. Now, as I said, I'm using green thread on the top and black thread underneath. So, oops, that's the top and that's the back. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of rippling going on the back there, and that's the problem that I was experiencing with Grandma with polyester batting as well. It was rippling quite badly on the back. Next up, let's take a look at how we got on with cotton. There's the front. And there's the back. Now there is a slight amount of rippling going on the back, and that's probably down to the fact that I haven't messed with his tension and I haven't altered his stitch length. But if you compare the two together, that's the difference between the two waddings. One of the main reasons why my sewing machine's having so much trouble with polyester batting is that it's quite tricky to get a machine needle to go through it. It's actually easier to hand quilt with polyester batting. Cotton batting tends to be easier on a machine because it's easier to get the needle to go straight through it. So that's a handy little quilting tip for you. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and why not go and check out some of the other videos that I've got on my channel at the minute, using either these links coming up any minute now or the ones that I'll put in the description box for you. And why not consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the little bell that's down there so that YouTube can let you know next time I upload a video. Whatever video you go and check out next, I hope to see you back here for the next one. In the meantime, whatever you're sewing it with, embrace your creativity and have fun. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.